Hey, you know how like I wouldn't give out like my personal number on the radio, you know? But if I give out my license plate number, is that too private?
I would think so.
Oh, so you wouldn't want to give that out?
Because I think they can get your phone number with that.
Okay. Then I'll generalize here.
Address?
So I bought a car like in October, November-ish, you know. And it was a stupid purchase, but the license plate just came in the mail yesterday. And it's not a personalized plate, but when you read it, like you can try to make something out of it. And it literally says "Crazy for Dicks."
Why would you get rid of that? Let's put that on right now.
Oh, my gosh.
I open it up out of the thing and I look at it, I go, oh my God. And my son Jake goes, what? And I go, what can you make out of this? And he goes, Crazy for Dicks. Then it's Crazy for Dicks. It's crazy. I'm like, huh. And he goes, you might want to change that. And I go, it took so long to get this license plate. I'm just going to keep it and see what kind of response I get at a red light.
That should be interesting. Kind of fun game.
Me too.
That would have been a good prank if like your kids did that or something.
Or I'm going to be at a red light and people are going to like pull their junk out of the window. Here I am.
That plate is a gift for you. You put that on. What if someone just pulls up? Hey, my name's Dick. That'll be great. This is going to be fun for everyone.
Yeah, so that happened yesterday. And I got to tell you this story, too. This is such a Twilight Zone story what I'm about to tell you. So my son, Jake, you know, for years, he's trained MMA, right? And then when COVID hit, you know, they shut down the gyms, and his trainer was also, you know, like he would rent out space at certain MMA gyms. They would train one-on-one. Well, they haven't been able to connect, and the trainer finally got a hold of it. And him and his trainer talk all the time. They play video games together and stuff. His trainer finally got a place. He goes, hey, I got a place. I could train you. So they decided to meet yesterday. And I always go with Kemp, my middle son, to all his training. So I thought, Jake, I'm going to take you. Let's go. So my son, Jake, he's very much like me, where we're driving, and I go, so where's the GPS? He goes, I don't know. Just said go straight down this road for a while and you'll find it. I'm like, that's so old school, right? I'm like, just find it. He goes, yeah. So we driving down the street, and there's this huge building. It says MMA, Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. So we pull in. And I go, so where's Brandon? He goes, I don't know. Let me call him. So he calls Brandon, and I could hear him on the phone. And Brandon goes, Jake, he goes, where are you? We're at this MMA Jiu-Jitsu huge building. And he goes, yeah, that's not it. He goes, it's not it. I go, no. He goes, well, where do we go? Okay, there's a Circle K. Go to Circle K, make a left, and go for a little bit. There's a bar. And then behind the bar, there's some bushes. Park there. I go, okay, I hear him say this to Jake. I'm like, can you just get an address so I can plug it in?
It sounded a little sketch.
Yeah. So I listened to the directions. Jake's like, turn here, turn here, turn here. And then Jake's like, there's a bush. Like, there's freaking bushes everywhere. So anyway, I see this sign that says Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And now we're in this weird little area. It's a little less safe, but it says Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if I feel safe with people that are coming in and out of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So we pull in. Then we call the guy, call Brandon. Where is he? Brandon's like, where are you guys? We're outside of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place. That's not it.
Like, oh my gosh, why does it have to be a scavenger hunt to find this place?
Like,
how many jiu-jitsu places are there?
And meanwhile, we're like now in the middle of nowhere, right? And he goes, get in your car, drive around the block, go behind the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place. So we drive right now. We're in an alley behind the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place. And there's Brandon on his phone. So he goes, park right here. So I park, right? So we get out of the car and I go, so we're behind the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place? He goes, yeah. He goes, I train a guy at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place. He owns a warehouse, and he said that I can train privately out of the warehouse. I go, that's cool. I go, how long you been doing that? Jake's my first one. So great. I go, so where are we going? Follow me. And there's these huge bushes, right? I mean, they're like 15, 20 feet tall, like these, what do you call oleanders? They're huge. Follow me. And he goes, into the oleanders. Right?
It's Narnia.
Like Homer Simpson when he backs up.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So he goes into the oleanders. And I'm like, what the hell? Jake goes, just follow him, Dad. And Jake goes in the oleanders. So I'm like, God dang. It's like going these oleanders, like in my face, because I'll scratch them and I get in the oleanders. And I pop out. And there, on the other side, there's this huge warehouse, right? So I go into the front door of the warehouse, and there's a nice little office setting. and then there's like a hallway, and then you can see the warehouse. In the warehouse, there's this blue mat, and I put some of this on my stories yesterday. And then there's a couple of mattresses on the side, and there's this man there. And this man goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And then Brandon introduces me to the man. And the man goes, "This is my warehouse." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for letting my son train here." He goes, "No problem." He goes, "Let me show you around." And Jake and Brandon start training. They put on some hip-hop music. They start training. The guy takes me upstairs, and there's like this TV studio. He goes, "I'm putting this TV studio up here." Like,
Huh?
I go, "Okay." I go, "What for?" He goes, "I'm on Fox News a lot." I'm like, "Okay." Right?
Random.
He goes, "Let me take you down here." And I'm looking at him like, "Is this guy a news anchor or something?" Like, well, then he takes me down. He goes, "Here's my podcast studio." And he shows me this podcast studio that looks nice. I'm like, "All right." Then he takes me into this conference room. And there's this conference room with all these medals on the table. I go, "What are those for?" He goes, "Those are my jiu-jitsu medals." And then on the wall, there's this huge like proclamation from Donald Trump to him. And I go, "What's this?" He goes, "Oh, that's from the president. He's my friend." He goes, I work on his campaign. I've set up all his rallies all around the country. I'm the guy that sets up his rallies." And I look around, and there's all these Pence-Trump signs on the floor everywhere, right? And I was like, "Oh," I look at him, I'm like, "Oh God, there's," and it's almost like the election was over 10 years ago. And this is the warehouse where they kept everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is this old beat up warehouse and all this stuff. And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he takes his phone and he starts showing me pictures of him and the president, of President Trump, and he's there. And I go, "Can I have those? Can you say?" So he airdrops me all these pictures. I go, "This is such a weird story." I go, he goes,
random.
"Sure." So he sends me pictures of him and his family at the White House, him and his family in the Oval Office, him with Trump. I sent those all to you last night, Kyle. Did you get them?
What?
I go, check. I sent him on your DM. I go, "You're not going to believe where I am right now. Look at this." But I start sending these.
Oh, after a certain point in the day, I don't check DMs. But how crazy.
It was very crazy. It was, and I was like, so then Jake, meanwhile, so then I start taking my phone and I'm just filming this warehouse, right? And then there's Jake doing MMA. And then there's this weird pink mattress. And then and I'm like, "What's with the mattress?" "Oh, my mother moved in with me." I'm like, "Yes."
Oh, he lives in the
Why do
warehouse.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I
Sounds
said,
like a news
it's not like
story.
it's like if he told me I was Jimmy Carter's I'm Jimmy Carter's guy, and there's all these signs, but it looks like this election was 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
Have you asked him why there's no other entrance besides through the oleanders?
I had to go.
I want to work on that
When
too.
I left. It started to rain. I had to go through the oleanders to get my car.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was the weird. Like, if I go back there today, it's literally like there's, like you said, Narnia. There'd be like flying horses, everything. I mean,
That's so bizarre.